Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, a weekly conversation between two best friends navigating adulthood as overgrown man-children. You know me. It's me. I'm best friend number one. I'm Stephen Pappas.
And I'm best friend number two, also aspiring dolphin trainer, Chris Grimmett.
Oh my gosh.
For anyone who watched this season of The Bachelor, they understand that reference. So
no, exactly.
If you
That's
didn't,
exactly where my brain went.
Of course, that's what I was going for.
Oh, he's talking about Alexis from The Bachelor season 21, or whatever it was this year.
Yeah, if you haven't watched The Bachelor...
Are we sad?
We definitely are, but watch it. Why not? It's kind of fun to watch with friends. Plus,
or
who
just
doesn't
by
want to
yourself
find
when
love?
your wife's at work.
Yeah, that one works too. I mean,
that's what I do.
It's a little bit weirder, but I think overall it's still fine.
Nope. That's just my life now.
Okay. I'm in support of that decision.
Well,
speaking of your life, dude, what's going on, man?
No, like just in general.
Yeah.
Like with my life? Well, I'm recording a podcast with a buddy of mine.
Okay.
Aside from that, really not much. Got some new video games this week. Really
that's
excited.
Fun. Which video games? I struggled saying that word.
Videon games. No, it's a re-release of the first two Kingdom Hearts games and MLB The Show 17, because when we're recording this, baseball season is starting up in less than a week. And so I am really pumped about that. Got baseball on the mind, so
home run,
watch loot,
triples, doubles, and umpires.
That's very good. That's very good.
I'm
that
showing my knowledge in baseball.
Oh, you know more than that.
I know. But I was just...
You're not Katie, who's just like, oh, go team. Like, that's the one where they hit the ball with the bat, right? And I'm like, yep, very good. Like,
that's the one where you eat countless things during the game, and it really doesn't distract you at all.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's more about the eating and the drinking when you go to a baseball game than anything, unless you're a big baseball nerd like me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well... Why don't we actually do something that's a little on topic? Let's start off this week, just like we do every week, with a mental health check-in. So, Chris, how's your mental health been this week?
Woo-wee, man. It's been a doozy. Started out kind of crazy. Started to calm down some, but I don't know. I've just been extra self-conscious of myself. I feel like I'm having a lot of questions lately of what do I need to do with my life, whether that's career or personal stuff. And Facebook, dude, can be really like a killer when it comes to like your insecurity, because you can look at other people and be like, gosh, looks like things are going well for them, even though I know mentally every single person is doing that, and everyone's actually struggling. In your mind, that's not what you want to say, and so you start sitting there and thinking, gosh, maybe I'm the only one who doesn't have a lot of clarity. So it's been okay, but I've definitely been extra self-conscious. How about you, man?
Yeah. Not to be a downer, but my week has been shit. It has not been good. It has not been good.
That sounded less sincere than actually what I meant for it to. So I apologize.
No, you're good. No, it's cool.
No.
No, I'm still adjusting to new meds. It seems like they either stopped working or I developed some sort of tolerance or something. So I had to up the dosage, and when you up the dosage, all the side effects hit again in full throttle.
Yeah.
And so I have the last few days been just like chilling out under blankets, watching The Great British Bake Off on Netflix, and just like going to my happy place with Mary Berry. And it's
okay. I don't know who Mary Berry is, so.
Oh, she's the host of The Great British Bake Off.
Oh,
and she
what a
is
perfect
great for
name.
your mental health.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's like super British.
Oh, she's super British. And
hello there, my name is Mary Berry.
That's anyone who is listening that is British. If you are listening, I apologize. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, no, that was more of like the Cockney accent than it was really like the formal British thing. So I was trying to be obnoxious.
That was your Adele.
Yeah, exactly. That's who I was trying to mimic.
There you go. No, so yeah, overall not good this week, but I am optimistic, cautiously optimistic, but still optimistic that things are gonna get better. So
yeah, man,
that's good at least.
That's good.
And we actually got a mental health check-in for the first time from someone who reached out to us.
Nice.
We will always be keeping these confidential, but we're gonna read them kind of on air. Like we've said, if you want to contact us with your mental health check-in that you'd like to share, or an idea of how we as hosts or friends can encourage you throughout the week, just email us over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. Again, we're going to keep these confidential, so we're going to call this person Regina.
Okay.
Regina Spector. It's her. She's a listener. And this is Regina Spector. She wrote in. She's on a national tour right now, and I think maybe that's just been hard on her. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not going to read this in an English accent, right?
No, I'm not, because
okay, good.
That is just the pseudonym we are giving to this listener.
Good.
But this listener wrote in and said, "I've struggled with depression and binging in the past, as well as social anxiety. I really don't talk about any of these things with anyone. I appreciate that you guys are working to break the stigma around mental illness. In 2016, about a year after my mom died, I decided to see a therapist. That freaked out my dad, who was very concerned that I was seeing a therapist and took it pretty hard. I think he saw that as him failing as the parent left behind. I went to 3 sessions and stopped. Honestly, I don't think therapy was the right route for me anyway. Sitting in a room and talking about myself for an hour is kind of my nightmare, and which I understand completely." Listener goes on, "I hate all the focus being on me, but 3 things that have been helpful for me to tackle my mental illnesses: I have a dog to cuddle if I'm feeling depressed.
That's great.
I went vegan last year, so even if I do binge, it shouldn't affect my health too badly.
Yeah.
And I work in a job that helps me talk to new people even when I don't want to. And I don't know if that's the way I'm confronting these issues correctly or if it's healthy, but it seems to be working so far. I don't even know what questions to ask, but you have any advice, I'd love to hear it." And again, that is from Regina Spector.
Thanks, Regina.
Yeah. I mean, I would say my first reaction when I was reading this, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, if you found something that's working for you and it is helping you cope with your illness, and it's not harming you in any way, by all means, 100% keep it up. And we're not doctors, we're not therapists. This is just from people who've dealt with this sort of stuff. Like, that sounds like it is really working for you. And so I really, really, really encourage you to keep doing that. And feel free to reach back out to us if there's any way we can encourage you further.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree. For some people, therapy works. For others, it doesn't. Some don't like the individual therapy because exactly what Regina was just sharing with us. The idea of talking about yourself is really difficult. But some like group therapies, and some find completely other ways to be able to respond and cope. So thanks for sharing that. And I think that's really encouraging for others who hear it and maybe think, am I weird? Am I crazy because therapy doesn't work for me? So thank you for sharing that, Regina.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, like I said before, if you want to share or we can encourage you in any way, feel free to email us over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. So we're going to go into another regular segment just to kind of have a little fun before we get into the topics. Millennials as a group are often connected with this really deep feeling of nostalgia. While I feel like most generations of people can relate to this, it seems like we who grew up in the 80s through early 2000s kind of have this incredibly strong, unbreakable bond to our childhoods. Mm-hmm. So while it's bound to come up constantly on the show, because nostalgia is something that is a big part of, I mean, most people's lives, but definitely I know mine, and I'm sure yours, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris and I just want to make sure that we take some time every once in a while to reminisce about some things that we may miss from growing up. So this is a segment that we're calling Remember When.
I feel like you should say "remember when," and then we get those like that sound effects of like the stars falling or like the sparkles, or you know what I'm talking about, almost like a rain stick, or like the what are those dangling things that you hit? That sounds so weird.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
The windmill stuff, the chimes. That's it.
Oh, wind chimes.
Yeah. So say it again.
That's not in the budget. That's not in the budget.
Well,
man.
Then I'll just try and recreate it for you.
Okay, cool. This is a segment we're calling Remember When.
Okay, that was more like Mario going down the tube than it was anything else.
No,
yeah.
I think that set the mood really, really well.
Perfect.
Really well.
Perfect. I'm glad.
So today's nostalgia journey, I decided we're going to talk about drinks from our childhood.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about the hard liquors that we drank. I'm talking about maybe things we can't get anymore, or the drinks that we haven't had in years. And so I'm going to let you start it off because I have a little bit of a list here. So I figure we'll just go back and forth and kind of name some things.
Totally. I think that we're probably going to have a lot on the same list. Because I also know that we were children who loved to indulge in the sugary drinks. Mm-hmm. So I'll start off with one of my favorites, still truly one of my favorites, even though I don't get a drink it that much anymore. And that is good old Sunny D. Sunny Delight. It's the best.
Tangy or smooth?
Good question. I'm actually cool with either. I like both.
Okay.
So
I think as a kid I was more into the smooth because it was straight sugar with some orange.
Exactly.
flavor.
Yeah. I think I liked smooth more at the beginning, but as I got older and was still drinking Sunny Delight into college,
we had gallons in the fridge in college.
Exactly, because of me. So I was really cool with any of them. I don't really like they've branched out and done like grape and other stuff. I'm not crazy about that, but just like the more originals. Sunny Delight, definitely. What about you?
Okay, cool. I went with one of my favorites from growing up, and it recently came back for a very, very limited time, and it is now gone, and I didn't get my hands on any because I was supposed to be eating healthy, and I'm really, really sad about that. High C Ecto Cooler?
Yeah.
The like bright fluorescent green one with Slimer from Ghostbusters on it. Man, they re-released that last year to coincide with the new Ghostbusters movie, and I didn't get any, and I'm super bummed. So if any of you listening out there want to send us gifts, Ecto Cooler is the number one thing.
For you, okay. Well,
for me, for both of us. And I'll take
for
Chris's.
both of us, fine. For the next one on my list, I'm pretty positive it's still around and very popular, but I can't for sure say this, and that is Capri Sun. What flavor?
Yeah, it's still around.
Every flavor, because they were all good, you know?
But the number one flavor, of course, was Pacific Cooler. They were all good, but Pacific Cooler was where it was at. The dude on the surfboard with like the metallic wave. Oh, yeah.
Did you ever, when watching those commercials, the Capri Sun commercials, the person would drink a little bit and would become like, kind of like...
The Terminator from T2?
Exactly,
like liquid metal?
Yeah, just kind of liquid metal and fly. I wanted to be that so bad.
I did too, and so I just kept drinking the Capri Suns, and you know what I did? I definitely, my body changed. I morphed into a different shape, but it was not liquid metal.
You kind of become blobbish after drinking it nonstop, but necessarily liquid metal.
Exactly. Yeah, it's false advertising. So when we first breached this topic, you brought up one to me that I completely forgot about, and I don't think they make it anymore. Juicy Juice. I don't think they make Juicy Juice anymore. Like, it's...
Really? I think they do.
It's just juice, but it's not. Like, when you were drinking it, like, it was like 100% juice, but I don't buy it for a second.
They still make it.
Do they?
I'm pretty positive.
Maybe I just haven't shopped for juice in a really long time.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's a question then. Some of these almost like have like a competition between two that are very similar but slightly different, and one of them was Juicy Juice in the little box or the High C Ecto Coolers in the box. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so which one for you did you like better?
Oh, it was definitely the High C boxes.
That's what I assumed, but...
Yeah, because it wasn't real juice. It was just sugar, and I was all about that.
I think the thing for me, though, is if you had like Juicy Juice... Like, your parents didn't care as much if you had more than one because it wasn't as unhealthy. And so you got to get, like, the treat of multiple. And so for me, that's what I really liked about Juicy Juice. And that's why I would probably pick that one over High C. I know that sounds crazy, but that's my personal opinion.
It's a risky choice, but that's okay.
Yeah. Another one I thought of was kind of in that same family, Hawaiian Punch. I haven't thought about Hawaiian Punch in a long time.
Dude, you can still get a Hawaiian Punch flavored milkshake at Cookout.
Can you really?
Yeah, you can.
Really? Okay, for those who don't know what Cookout is, since I know it's more of like
kind of
a
like
local
In-N-Out
thing.
for the South.
Yeah, it's kind of like In-N-Out, but they have like 1,000 flavors or combination of flavors for milkshakes. And I didn't realize Hawaiian Punch was still one.
It is, as is High C Orange.
Yeah, I do remember that one, though, so that's cool. But Hawaiian Punch is one I remembered. I wasn't crazy about it. I mean, it was good, but compared to some of the others, it wasn't my first choice by any means.
Absolutely. Well, since we got topics to get into, I'm just going to hit you with like a lightning round of some stuff I wrote down here.
Okay.
And let you enjoy a little reminiscence. So, Squeeze-Its.
Yep.
We're definitely on there. Orbits.
Did you like
do you
squeeze
remember
it?
Orbits?
Yeah, I do remember Orbits. Orbits was the one with like the glass bottle where they had a bunch of like balls just like floating
Balls of Jello in the drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really gross.
Yeah, I did
but
not
I
like
loved
it at all. But with Squeeze It, you remember there was Squeeze It and then Kool-Aid Burst, and they were the exact same thing pretty much.
Right.
Which one did you like better?
I preferred Squeeze It, but
Me too.
I will say, over Kool-Aid Bursts, I would take the dark horse in that race, which is Mondo's.
Oh, I would take Mondo's over all of them because Mondo flavor.
That's a little much.
Seriously, I would drink the entire pack in one sitting, which is
Problem
why
with
my
Mondo's
parents would
is
give it to me all the
they
time.
have aspartame in them to be like less sugary. They put like artificial sweeteners in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pretty gross.
Oh, well, that is kind of gross, but I still drink them all of the time, so it's fine. I would pick Mondo's.
Okay,
What else do you have?
I just had, like I said, Orbits. Fruitopia, which was disgusting, but it's something nostalgic about it for me.
Yeah.
And then I got into a couple sodas. Surge.
Yep, I remember Surge.
Loved Surge, but it made everybody's heart explode, so they took it away.
Yeah, unfortunately about that.
And then this one, for most of my childhood, it ran up until like I graduated high school. Pepsi Holiday Spice. It only came out around Christmas. Yep. And it was Pepsi, just like regular Pepsi, but it had like a spicy, like cinnamony, like cider spice aftertaste. So it tasted like Pepsi, which was great, but then you got like this nice little spicy bit at the end. And I think that the reason it doesn't exist anymore is because of the face you were making, which for those of you who can't see him is not a happy face.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
But it was.
Okay, whatever. Okay, before we go though, you're missing probably one of the biggest debates of 90s drinks. It's who rules the kingdom of chocolate milk. Is it Nesquik, Yoo-Hoo, or Ovaltine?
Okay, well, Yoo-Hoo to me doesn't count.
I know, it's like chocolate
Yoo-Hoo,
water.
It's chocolate drink.
It's kind of doo-doo water if you think about it.
Yeah, it is, but I would drink it
all
day
I mean, I would
long.
still drink it nonstop too, but it's kind of gross looking.
There's a coffee shop. Hey, you live in Winston-Salem. There's a coffee shop there called Cranky's that used to do a drink called Electric Yoo-Hoo. I don't know if they still do it, but it's like a really ice-cold Yoo-Hoo, like served over more ice with 2 shots of espresso in it, and it's really good.
My goodness, that sounds like you would not sleep for days.
Nope, but it's great.
Okay, so you agree.
I was a Nesquik guy.
Nesquik? Really?
Yeah, I was Nesquik over Ovaltine.
For what reason?
I don't know. The bunny? I don't...
That was it. Okay, that is fair. If you think about from like a marketing standpoint, Nestle had this cool hanging out like bunny that you wanted to be friends with. And Ovaltine was just a large collection of children walking into a living room to saying to mom, "More Ovaltine, please." Like that is not that appealing. But when I first had Ovaltine, man, my like eyes like grew like 3 times the size, and I was like, I want 18 more of these right now. And to this day, I desire to have Ovaltine so bad.
I feel like Ovaltine lost the war when Nesquik started releasing like pre-made chocolate milk, like not just the powder, like you could buy the milk already chocolate, and then Ovaltine has never done that.
That is true. Ovaltine, what were you doing? You lost it. That's true.
Is Ovaltine
I still like
around?
Ovaltine. I think it is. Hopefully it is. If not, it's an American tragedy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it has been around since before my parents were children, so yeah.
Oh, so it made a good run.
Yeah, okay. Regardless, it had a good run. But
that was a good little nostalgic journey. Is nostalgic
I
a word?
loved it.
Yeah, it is.
Nostalgic is a word. I enjoy that. We're going to do that from time to time.
Okay.
All sorts of things. Snacks, video games, movies, TV, just whatever. I think TV will have to break down into like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. But we'll do that from time to time. Cool. So I think we're going to roll into topics of the show.
Yeah.
I think, Chris,
we've been talking about the past, man.
Week.
Yeah, we've been talking about the past. And
nice segue.
That kind of reminded me of something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So I don't know if you've seen this show on Fox. It's called Making History. It's like a brand new television show that's kind of coming out. And the idea behind it is this guy makes friends with this other dude, and they start going back throughout history. And it's just like this comedy. But it started making me think about going back in history and what type of events I might want to be a part of, or at least witness for myself. So I just want to kind of throw it to you. If you could go back to any event in history, what would it be?
Well, when you initially dropped this with me, I had a lot to think about here. Because I'm a big history nerd. Big history nerd.
You are.
And my area of, like, focus was always, like, revolutionary history. And so, like, anything from, like, 1751 all the way until, like, 1805, like, I was all about.
You like this show, then, because that's pretty much where it's set.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of it is.
Okay. Then I would absolutely have to watch that at least a little bit. Like, that's the area of history I like. So, like, my obvious choices were, like, it's like, oh, it'd be cool to be at, like, the First Continental Congress, or it'd be cool to be at the Battle of Yorktown and see them win, or more recently, because of Hamilton, to see the duel between Hamilton and Burr.
Okay, that makes more sense. The other ones are pretty lame, if we're being honest.
To see the rap battles between Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton.
That would be cool.
That's real life, right? So, and then, I mean, I like Civil War history, so I was thinking about things from there. Like, that would be really interesting to be a part of, because the way I'm picturing this, we can't interact. We're just kind of there in an ethereal plane, like, watching it happen. But nobody can see us. We can't interact with anything.
So explain this to me.
Okay.
The two main things that you're saying you want to do is go back to a war and watch just a bunch of people stand in lines and die, or to go into Congress of that time and just watch them argue and, like, bicker for, like, 12 days.
Yes, because at that point they're discussing, like, are we going to revolt against the country that controls us and go to war, like, for our freedom? Like, that's got to be powerful stuff to witness. And so, like, those were my initial thoughts. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I've got history books to read. I've got all sorts of things to do. I would like to go back to a place and experience a moment where I could say, hey, I was there and witnessed this. And so, like I said, I've had baseball on the mind a lot lately. And so a lot of things started popping up. I was like, I could go see Babe Ruth's called shot. Or I could go see the Braves, because I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan. I could go see the Braves win the series in 95, because God knows they'll never do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But then I really thought about it. I was like, what's the single greatest moment in baseball history that I would love to say, dude, I was there? And that is clearly when Randy Johnson threw a pitch and exploded a bird.
That is so true.
Yes, it's the greatest moment in baseball history. If you haven't seen it, please just Google or YouTube Randy Johnson bird, and it will come up. Like, it is just, he threw a pitch, it was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and a bird happened to fly in front of it, and there's just an explosion of feathers, and you just watch the catcher, like, pass out.
Yeah, and it just happened, like, the anniversary of it was just like a week or two ago.
Right, and I think I saw that video, and I was like, that is the greatest moment in baseball history. I must see this.
Yeah, and so, just to give, like, people an idea of people who do not know who Randy Johnson is, Randy Johnson is like this 9-foot giant who has nasty, like, Billy Ray Cyrus mullet hair. And honestly, if you look at his face, kind of looks like an eagle if you really think about it. And so it's especially crazy that he's the one that threw. And this bird, just like, it's almost like a math problem. If, like, a train going from Chicago at 70 miles per hour, and this, like, I mean, it's the perfect collision, and it is, I mean, it almost looks like confetti just explodes. Like, it is crazy.
Oh yeah, it's weird and probably slightly disturbing, but to say that I could have been there, I feel like would have been awesome. And also, I think you need to hold back on your Randy Johnson, like, visual appearance hate, because I'm sure, like, 100% sure that he is a listener to this show.
Let me be clear.
And I don't want to.
I love Randy Johnson. I love him. He was one of my favorite players. But you can't disagree that he kind of had nasty hair for the majority of his career, and he looks a little bit like a bald eagle.
Randy, I think you're beautiful. I think you're beautiful. Don't listen.
Did I say that bald eagles are not beautiful creatures? I didn't say that. He just kind of looks like a character that's in mid-transformation from Animorphs, from human to bald eagle. He's in that middle stage. So
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So that is mine at the moment of where I would go back to. What would be your moment in history?
Okay, so I kind of did a similar thing, almost like one personal event that I'd want to go back to and one just random event in history. And so for the random one, I had kind of like a couple different answers. If I was being serious, I would probably want to do some type of event that would like join huge amounts of people around the world together. Like I was thinking about this the other month when the Women's March happened, and you saw pictures of people from literally all around the world doing the same thing at the same time, and it was pretty moving to me for some reason. So I thought about like an Olympics moment, or like the Civil Rights March on Washington, or like the Walk on the Moon, or the Berlin Wall falling. Something like that would be pretty cool to be able to say you were there. But if I'm being more funny about it, and what would be a more specific event I would want to like be a part of would be like the accidental discovery of something. Like not like they've been working hard on like how to fly or something. Like this guy discovers grilled cheese by mistake. Like I just imagine he's got two pieces of bread.
Good day.
He's eating a cheese sandwich, and someone's like cooking nearby because he's hungry and he's waiting for the food to happen. And so he trips and the sandwich falls on the grill. Like that's the type of thing that I think would be pretty hilarious. And they're like, oh my God, we are geniuses. I would love to be there for something like that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd be completely down for that. Well, I did a personal one as well. And we can get into your personal one in a second, or we can do it now if you want.
No,
Would you rather go first? Mine are ridiculous, but they are legitimate things that have affected my life, and that I would 100% go back with the caveat that we can change our response or decision or reaction in these moments. Okay. So there are two things I want to change about my life that I would go back to. One, I was 9 years old, and I was at Cape Canaveral in Florida, Kennedy Space Center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were just launching a rocket that week. It was great. And I was walking around with my mom and dad, and there was this robot thing, like this like statue of a robot. And so I walked up to it because I was like, oh, this is cool. And there was a family taking a picture in front of it. And I got yanked out of the picture because I accidentally photobombed them. And I got like, my mom was like, you can't do that. Like, they were taking a picture. And I'm the type of person, I felt so bad about it that to this day, I still feel bad that I was in that family's picture. I'm sure they just took another one, but like, it still bothers me. So I still wish like I could go back and do that. And my second one, and this one's more important. When I was probably 7 or 8 years old, we were at a toy store in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I remember it very well.
Gatlinburg.
I think it might have been a Toy Liquidators. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. But we're at this toy store, and I'm with my grandfather, and I get to pick out one toy, and I'm torn between two toys, both of which are Star Wars toys, and they are essentially the Star Wars equivalent of Polly Pockets.
Uh-huh.
So they're these big heads of characters that open up, and there's like a world in there, like a scene from the movie, and you can play with your little toys in there. Mm-hmm. And so you got a Jabba the Hutt that opens up into Jabba's palace with a working trap door that drops you into a lower part of the toy where there is a Rancor pit for fighting.
Whoa.
Awesome. And then you have Boba Fett's head, which opens up into Cloud City with the working chute that you can fall down as Luke after the "No, I am your father" moment. And so I'm torn. I can't decide. I pick the Boba Fett toy and I walk away not knowing that, I mean, it's chocolate or vanilla. Like, this is a decision that will rattle me for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Because the Boba Fett toy, while cool, for the rest of my life, I've never been able to get past the idea of, but damn, that Jabba toy, like with the cool trap door and everything, because I used to think Return of the Jedi was better because I was a 9-year-old and I didn't know any better.
So is the other one more expensive now? Is that why you're wanting
No,
to
they
go
don't.
back?
I can't find them anywhere. Like, I mean, there's no, it would just be to have enjoyed it as a child. And I'm sure if I had gotten Jabba, I would have thought the same thing about Boba Fett.
Yes.
But it's just one of those things that I want from my childhood that I never attained. So if any of you feel like sending us gifts out there, Jabba the Hutt playsets.
Goodness. All right. So it seems to me that you going back into your personal past was super lame because you had nothing that you needed to truly fix. Let me give you an example of a time that I wish I could go back to.
Good.
I was 10. This is a painful memory, by the way, so just
paint the picture for me, bud.
Yeah, I'm going to do the best I can, but it's a little difficult. So I was 10.
Okay.
I was at my local rec center, and it was a basketball league. Now, let me just give you a little bit of background. I was never the best athlete. That's kind of being nice to myself with how I would describe my athletic abilities. And so as you would expect, I never started on the basketball team. I was always coming off the bench. And so
I understand.
It was a very important game. We were playing, oh God, it hurts even saying it. We were playing the Cavaliers. And it's the last couple seconds of the game. The game is tied. Some of the other kids have gotten hurt, so I'm having to play in the final seconds, right? So our team has the ball, and we have to throw it in, and we have to score in order to win. Pretty simple. We got like 10 seconds left. So the star player, I won't say his name, but the star player, who I resented quite a bit because he was the cool kid, was throwing it in. I was the only kid not really being guarded because of the whole not being good at basketball thing. So I was all the way in the back, just waving my hands left and right, being like, I'm open. And so everyone else, imagine this in slow motion with Chariots of Fire playing in the background, okay? He throws it to me because everywhere else they're completely guarded, and he throws it over my head. And so I slowly look up and I turn around and I begin to run towards the ball, chasing after it since it went past me.
Right.
And so I'm running, I grab the ball, and I remember this like, I am open. This is perfect. I'm going to win the game. I dribble. I'm making sure I don't double dribble. I don't walk. I don't travel, anything like that. I walk up, and just like in practice, I go up for the layup, and I score. And oh man, was it a glorifying feeling. And then I looked around, jumping up and down, and the other team was so excited, and my team was on the ground screaming, and parents were yelling, and I was so confused, and I was like, why aren't you celebrating this amazing achievement? And yes.
No, you didn't.
I had scored for the other team.
No.
They won, and it was one of the most mortifying experiences of my entire life. And so if I could go back and change something, I would do one of two things. One, I would just, as my current adult self, run onto the court as I'm about to score and just block myself as a little kid. And sure, that might scar me, but I would just be like, you're welcome, snap my fingers, and then just disappear. Or if I couldn't do that, then I'd be sitting on the sidelines. I would watch as poor young Christopher begins to cry, realizing at what he had done. And when all the other parents were being complete D-bags, I would just stand up and just start chewing them out. And just...
You tell them. Yeah,
I would just tell them off, and then maybe I'd take the basketball, and I would stuff it and hit them in the face with a basketball. If I'm
that seems like assault, but okay.
I mean, either way, it kind of seems like I'm wanting to go back to commit some form of minor assault, either on parents or on myself as a 10-year-old. But either way, it was such a horrifying experience for me, and I would love to be able to go back and fix it if I could. So that would be my moment of change.
That's fair. All right.
Thank you for that. It was painful to go there.
No, this is a safe space, bud.
Thank you so much.
We're opening this space for things. Speaking of safe space and, being a place where we could talk about anything.
We are so good at transitions, man.
We're right on those segues
I'm so
today.
proud of us.
Anyway, we're going to roll right into my topic. And my topic actually this week comes from a listener that emailed in. And so, little peek behind the curtain. Since we're releasing these all on the first day, you're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome.
We had a few friends that were really excited about the podcast that had some questions, and they wanted to write in. And so, like we said when we introed the show in the first episode, there is no topic too silly. There is no topic too serious. We can take a silly topic and get kind of real on it. we can take a real topic and get kind of silly on it and kind of poke fun at ourselves. So my topic this week comes from a listener named Hannah, and she asked, how can those without mental illness genuinely help those who do deal with mental illness? And so I'm curious what you have to say about that, because my first response when I read that was like, know the person, know what they need. Like I said at the beginning, I've been dealing with some medication issues in the last few days. And like my wife, love her to death, she is the type of person, just like I am, that likes to try to fix things. And so she wants to put her hand on my shoulder or, talk to me about, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm not the person that needs that all the time, especially when I'm like really having a panic attack or an episode. Like sometimes it's nice to have friends and have a support group that understands what you're going through and acknowledges what you're going through, but doesn't try to fix it, because you can't fix it. Sometimes, I went to a cookout the other night for a friend's birthday, and we were there, and my medication was starting to freak out at that point. This was before I upped the dose, but I was starting to have some issues, and I really was having trouble being out, being there, and I had a minute where I just had to like walk down the driveway and like shake it off and like legitimately physically shake it off. Like I shook my arms and legs and like took a second, deep breaths, and walked back up the driveway. And this friend looked at me. She knows me well enough, and she's dealt with some of the same stuff. She looked at me and she said, "You okay?" And I said, "Nope." And she said, "Well, if there's anything I can do for you or you need anything, just let me know. Like, I know it sucks, but just let me know." And I said, "Okay." Because sometimes I think that is the best way you can help somebody who's dealing with mental illness, specifically with anxiety, in my case, is to just look at them and be like, hey, like, I'm not going to try to fix it. I acknowledge that you're having a problem, but if you need anything, you let me know how I can be of help to you. But I'll let you handle it on your own, but I'm here as a resource if you need me. And sometimes, I know we've talked about this before, sometimes it really is nice to just have somebody acknowledge it and be like, yeah, that really sucks. Like that you're dealing with that really sucks, and I'm really sorry you're dealing with that. Let me be a resource if you need it.
Yeah. I mean, so I have found myself in my life at times being the one that is really struggling, and at times being the one where I'm trying to be a support. And although neither of us are professionals, I think we have experienced this. And from our own personal experience, what I have learned is, as people who like to fix things, even when it's for the best intentions, you can often end up breaking it worse, because by fixing it, it can almost come off as you desperately need to be fixed. And because
you're broken.
Yeah, you're broken and you need help being able to get fixed. And so I think the first thing for those who are genuinely trying to be friends and supports for those who are struggling with it would be to realize, in the end, there's nothing really that you can do, because this is a personal journey that they're having to go through. And all you can do is be a support in that. You are not ever going to specifically say the exact right thing that's going to then make it all better just like that. You're not going to spout out this one sentence wisdom and they're going to go, you know what? You are right. I am struggling with anxiety, and all I have to do is not think about it. That's just not going to work. And so the thing that you said of just saying that sucks, I think totally resonates with me. I actually learned about this from a surprising source. I learned about it from the show Parks and Rec. There's this one episode where, if you've watched the show, Anne is pregnant and her partner is trying to do everything to make it easier for her. And she talks to somebody and says, I love that he's trying to do this, but he's driving me crazy because I don't want him to solve every problem. I just want him to say, that sucks. And that's enough sometimes. And they have this long conversation about him learning that's what he needs to do, and how much better it helps the relationship, and how it really helps her as well in recognizing, yeah, it does suck. I'm not nuts for thinking this, and I'm okay. so I can get through this. And I think when we're not so busy trying to fix other people, it frees us up to be able to work on our own stuff. So we're able to find ways that we need to work on areas of need and improvement, and we can work out what works for us when it comes to coping with our stress or our mental illness or whatever it might be. And so I think for me, that's what's important, is just being there in case someone needs you, not specifically saying, I'm here and I'm going to brainstorm with you right now how to fix it.
Right. And going off of that, there are some absolute no-nos. Like when it comes to that, like, and I sort of experienced this a few months ago when my dad died. People don't know what to say, so they say the things that they think they're supposed to say. Oh, he's in a better place, or, oh, it's okay. Like, well, no, it's not okay. And, while I do believe that he's better off now, I don't necessarily want to hear that right now. Like, sometimes I just need somebody to be like, this is a really crappy situation, and sorry you're going through it. I love you. Yeah. If you need anything, you know where I am. And it's kind of the same way with depression and anxiety, at least for me. One of the most infuriating things, and I understand people mean well, so I'm not at all like getting on anybody that does this. I'm just saying maybe pull it back and don't do this, or try to be more conscious of trying not to do this. Sometimes suggestions are about the worst thing, coming from someone who doesn't struggle with this. If they try to suggest things for you to do, it can be really upsetting or really, really frustrating. Like if somebody, don't sit down with somebody who's having a panic attack and be like, okay, well, have you tried changing your diet? Have you tried yoga? Have you tried meditation? Have you tried medication? Have you tried switching your medication? Don't sit there and, like you said, brainstorm this idea with them, because that's not what they need. At least for me, that's not what I need in those moments. Like I need somebody to be there, but to not constantly be telling me like, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done, because then it makes you feel like you're not doing enough. You should be doing more to fix yourself because you're broken and you need to be fixed. And that's not a good feeling.
Yeah. And also, so I'm going to give an example of this. So like I've shared before on the show, my dog is struggling a lot with separation anxiety. He's a rescue. And because of that, we have been for years now looking up different ways to try and help him with this. And then the thing that pisses me off more than anything else is we'll go somewhere and we'll just briefly share like, yeah, he struggles a lot with this. And then someone's like, well, have you tried this and this and this? As if we're idiots that have never gone online and looked at many of these very basic things that we've known for years now. And so the idea of saying, look, they know themselves better than you know them, and they know what works and what doesn't. And I think there is a way to be able to suggest, but it has to be something like this, not you offering the suggestion at the beginning, but through providing support over time. Maybe your friend who's struggling comes to you and says, hey, do you have any ideas? And then I think it's okay to suggest, but that's because they've gone out of the way to seek support and advice, not you've walked up to them and said, I'm a master. I'm here to tell you pretty obvious basic suggestions that you've probably thought of 1,000 times.
Right. Well, like I can relate to that 100% because I've spent literally years not asking for help, trying to handle anxiety and depression and bipolar and all this stuff on my own, without seeking any sort of assistance from really friends, but specifically professional help as well, medication. And I was so tired of people being like, well, have you tried medication? Have you tried medication? Have you tried this? And I'm like, yeah, well, okay, stop. Like, I don't need you to tell me what to do, until I finally had a day where Katie came home from work and I just broke down and I told her, I think I need help. I think I need to go to a doctor. I think I need to try medication. And it was me coming to that realization that allowed me to open up and seek help from other people. Because the thing is, when you're in those moments, you don't want help all the time. Like, you want to try to either handle it on your own, or you're not ready to, and I think that's the main one. You're not ready to ask for help yet.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get to a place where I could, text a friend and be like, hey, don't necessarily need you to fix anything. Just want to let you know, like, I'm having multiple panic attacks. I'm having a bad day. Just send good vibes my way. Mm-hmm. And like, just so that somebody knows, like, hey, I'm having this bad day. I'm not a crazy person. I'm just having a problem right now. And I would love for you to acknowledge it and encourage me in some little way. And usually the people that I text know that I do that. They know that this is going to come from time to time, and they understand like what it becomes. Because when you deal with depression and anxiety, it's really precarious. It can be with people and with you trying to give advice, because a lot of people aren't open to receiving advice, and then they feel like you are maybe in some ways judging them, mm-hmm. or at least that's the experience I've had in the past. And then they're not as open with you. Like when I recently started my blog, it was really hard for me to say things to people openly that didn't know about me. Like, oh, I tried to kill myself once, or I've had these thoughts, or I've dealt with anxiety for 7 years and just pretended that I'm happy all the time. So like, it's hard to reach that openness. And sometimes I think by trying to quote unquote force suggestions on them, you're shutting it down, that openness, in a way. So, and this isn't an attack on anybody who does that in any way. It's just maybe advice to kind of rein it in and allow the person who's dealing with the struggle to come to you for advice.
Yeah. And just the reminder that I think is always important that I tell myself is, at the end of the day, it's a process for every single person, and that process is going to look different. And like, I get it. There have been people, I mean, even in our friendship, I know that there have been times in college that I was doing exactly what we're telling people they shouldn't be doing. Like, I was doing all
Absolutely.
of the no's out of an attempt to help. And then later you see in a relationship something that you have said multiple times to them. They come to that conclusion on their own, and they're like, maybe I should seek this. And I can get that it can be a frustrating feeling of like, well, duh, I've been saying it for years. But in that moment, you have to recognize that it's a process for every person. And a decision isn't made until that specific person makes it for themselves. And so
Right.
just understanding that and providing support until they're able to come to the conclusions that work best for them is really the only thing you can do.
Absolutely. And so, Hannah, I hope that kind of answered your question, and we've kind of given you some good advice there. Just things from our personal experiences that would have helped us along the way and have helped us along the way. So, and we're not going to apologize for getting serious, because like we said at the beginning, like it can be silly, but we also want to have an open dialogue about serious things that are going on, because I think that that's a crucial part of friendship and a crucial part of conversation. So we're going to do this from time to time.
And it's a crucial part of becoming an adult,
Oh, absolutely.
And if anyone gets too upset about being serious, we did have like a 15-minute debate over Ovaltine versus Nesquik. So
that is absolutely true. There are jokes.
You're going to be okay.
It's not like we brought it in today like, hey guys.
I don't have Simple Plan and Green Day playing in the background by any means.
Well, I do, but I do all the time.
That's a
just
different
to take
reason.
me back to evil high school, Steven. But okay, we're gonna roll out. But if you want to send us a topic for discussion or a mental health check-in, you can do so at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. Follow us over on Twitter at @isthisunderscoreadulting. Find us over on Facebook, and make sure to check out our Patreon. We're currently entirely listener supported, so if you like what you hear, please consider clicking on over to patreon.com/isthisadulting and pledging a monthly amount. We have tons of cool rewards, exclusive content, Skype dates, special episodes that are going to start going up, and much, much more that you'll receive in return for your support. So we'd like to thank the collection for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers, off their album Ars Moriendi. And I think, Chris, we're going to talk a little bit more about that this week.
So the collection is an amazing band, and they're friends of the show.
Yes.
And we're just super grateful that they're allowing us to use their theme music from a previous album, but we also want to make sure that that they just released a new album like days ago called Listen to the River. It's real good, y'all. I was shocked how much I just loved every single song. So please check it out. They're both fun, but also they can get deep too, similar to the show. And we just really encourage you to go and support them, the collection. You can find them on iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, and everywhere else.
I was going to say also Amazon. I just recently discovered that.
Yes.
They're on the Amazon MP3 store, the new album is. So that's where I've listened to what I have of it, and it's really good so far. I haven't had time to sit down and listen to the whole thing, but definitely check it out. That's going to do it for us here on Is This Adulting this week. I've been your best friend, Steven.
And I'm your best friend, Chris.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. They might just be Daniel Radcliffe in disguise.
Ooh.
Seriously, think about it. Do you want to not hug that person and realize later they were Harry Potter?
Yeah, that's a failure.
Makes you think. Makes you think.
All right, have a good week.
Bye.